I recently spent several weeks commuting with the fifth wheel V40 Pro electric scooter, a popular Amazon find that boasts surprising features for its price. I wanted to see if this budget-friendly scooter could hold up for daily commuting. In this review, I'll cover its specifications, standout features, real-world riding performance, pros and cons, and ultimately let you know if I think it's worth using every day to get around town. The fifth wheel V40 Pro packs an impressive spec sheet for a scooter in its class. It's built on a sturdy high-carbon steel frame and rolls on 10-inch solid tires. Those solid tires mean you never have to worry about flats on your commute, though they can feel a bit firmer on bumpy roads than air-filled tires. To compensate, the scooter comes equipped with a dual suspension system. There's a suspension fork in the front and an internal shock absorber at the rear. This full suspension setup is a welcome feature normally seen on more expensive models, and it aims to smooth out rough city streets for a more comfortable ride. Powering the V40 Pro is a 400-watt nominal and 800-watt peak hub motor, which is relatively powerful for a commuter scooter. Many scooters around this price only have 250 watt, so the extra punch here is noticeable. The motor propels the scooter up to a claimed top speed of 20 miles per hour, and it certainly feels quick. In practice, I found it reaches around that 20-mile mark on flat ground, providing a zippy ride for keeping up with urban traffic flow or just saving time on your commute. For energy, the scooter uses a 48-volt, 7.5 amp-hour lithium-ion battery, which the manufacturer advertises as providing up to about 25 miles of range on a full charge. As with any e-scooter, that range figure is based on ideal conditions: a light rider, steady slow pace, flat ground. Realistically, the range will be lower for most riders. As a normal adult, you are probably looking at 50% of the claimed range. Charging the battery from empty takes roughly 5 to 6 hours, which is not too bad. The V40 Pro keeps its weight low and light. It weighs about 37 pounds. The build feels solid and durable, rated to support riders up to 265 pounds. The scooter also folds down quickly thanks to a one-step quick fold lever. I found the folding mechanism to be simple and secure. It collapses the stem over the deck, making the scooter compact enough to fit in a car trunk or even under a desk at work. This is great for commuters who need to combine the scooter with other transport or stow it in tight spaces. Braking itself is handled by a dual system, a rear mechanical disc brake and a front EABS that uses the motor for regenerative braking. In use, the brakes felt strong and reliable. Squeezing the brake lever engages both systems, and I was able to come to controlled stops from top speed without skidding. The anti-lock feature on the front helps prevent the wheel from locking up if you brake hard, which adds confidence especially when roads are wet or downhill. The scooter feels lively thanks to that torquey motor. From a standstill, it accelerates with a satisfying push. I was able to get from 0 to around 15 miles per hour fairly quickly, and it continued up to about 19 to 20 miles per hour on flat stretches. It's worth noting that as the battery charge drops, the available top speed also gradually decreases. For instance, after I had used roughly 40% of the battery, the maximum speed I could reach on flat ground was closer to 17 to 18 miles per hour. This behavior is normal for electric scooters, as lower battery voltage means a bit less power. Even so, cruising at 18 miles per hour is still plenty for most commutes, and when the battery was full, the scooter did hit 20 miles per hour as advertised. One pleasant surprise was the V40 Pro's hill performance. Mid-range scooters often struggle on inclines, but this model handled itself well. On one particularly steep hill in my area that usually slows budget scooters to a crawl, the V40 Pro managed to maintain about 12 miles per hour climbing up. If you live in a hilly region, you'll appreciate this power. Very steep hills will still challenge it, but for typical city grades and highway overpasses, it performs admirably for a cheap commuter e-scooter. Riding on the V40 Pro is a comfortable experience overall, thanks largely to the dual suspension. When I first started riding, the suspension felt a little stiff, but I actually noticed it smoothing out after a few days of use. It seems the springs or shocks break in slightly and become more effective after some regular riding. Once it loosened up, I could hit minor potholes or brick paths, and the jolt was significantly muted compared to a non-suspension scooter. That said, the scooter's solid rubber tires still transmit more vibration than air-filled tires would on very rough terrain. On badly broken asphalt or gravel, you'll feel some of that vibration in the handlebars, as expected. Now for the real-world range, arguably one of the most important aspects for daily commuting. The manufacturer's 25-mile range claim is quite optimistic for fast or heavy riders. In my testing using the scooter in its highest speed mode at close to full throttle, I was consistently getting around 12 miles of range per charge. This was with me weighing about 190 pounds and riding on mostly flat routes at top speed. Getting roughly half the advertised range is not unusual because the spec is usually based on ideal conditions. If your commute is longer, you might need to recharge at the office or consider a model with a bigger battery. The scooter's battery indicator is easy to read on the handlebar display, and I appreciated that it didn't suddenly die. It gave a blinking warning when the last bar was reached and power gradually tapered off, allowing me to safely reach my destination without a hard cutoff. After putting the fifth wheel V40 Pro through its paces, I can confidently say that it is an impressive everyday commuter scooter for the price. It's not often you find a budget scooter that checks so many boxes: a peppy motor with good speed, a comfortable suspension system, decent battery life for short to medium commutes, and a full suite of lights including turn signals. In daily use, it proved reliable and enjoyable. I looked forward to my rides, knowing I could zip through city traffic and arrive without feeling rattled or drained of battery.